You know, shooting a video next to a house that's being renovated is always provides something of a challenge, hence me coming back to the car. Today I want to briefly talk about the dietary habit of predators: Bigfoot, Yowie, Chachali, Junjanti, Dulaga, Quincan, whatever tribal name you want to give these creatures. There's a prevailing attitude amongst some researchers who I'm sure are quite innocent, but others I think are quite deceptive. And they'll say, well, look, we can go into the bush and we can wear our thongs and we can swill the beer can back, and we can have a spare one for the Yowie because, hey, we can give him the beer and, he'll pose for a selfie. You know, I don't know half the time whether people who say those sorts of things are being serious or whether they're really just being deliberately, well, outright lying. I mean, really, it's just any creature of the size that we see of footprints, and when we see structures like bows and blinds, where the tree limbs, substantially big tree limbs, have been ripped from the trees, and we see big tree branches that have been pulled into a bow shape, that is an upside down U shape, takes a lot of strength. I don't really think that these creatures are fruitarians or vegetarians, or they just eat pizza out of bins. I don't think that really happens a great deal. I think they do prefer meat, so they'll prey upon kangaroos, wombats, kookaburras, fish, lizards, snakes, those sorts of animals that you find in this country of Australia. And inevitably, this means that for some missing people are being preyed upon and fed upon. People go missing for a lot of reasons. And it's a surprising fact that not all the Australian bush has been fully explored. The Blue Mountains region in Sydney, around Sydney and New South Wales, has not been fully explored. There are places there that humankind have not set foot in since white folks, and I presume Aboriginal tribes also, have not set foot in. I know back in the 80s when I used to hike around the Burra Pine Mountain and places around there were places like mining encampments, which to my eyes didn't look like white man had been there at least 100 years. So, it's really quite a surprising sort of thing for people who can't find this mythical creature, and they can tramp around in the bush for hours on end, and for weeks and years and days, and spending time out there shooting some great footage and telling us about all these wonderful stories which have absolutely nothing to do with what they're searching for. But these people have made up their mind that these creatures are vegans or fruitarians or something. I have found kangaroo carcasses that weren't killed and eaten by wild dogs. They were missing heads, the chest cavity was stretched open, the soft tissue was gone, and the spine is always broken in two places. Wild dogs are not that tidy because there's no blood found under the carcass. And I don't know of any feral animal that would be such a tidy eater. But I do know of a predator that would kill an animal elsewhere and then dump it for a human being to find it. I know that sort of creature is a predator, and it does consume meat, including the meat of human beings. Just a thought, guys. Consider it.